Warning: the following podcast contains violent scenes that may be unsettling to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. During a small period of peace, two Hussites have decided to join a caravan, traveling to the Hussite bastion of Tabor. By accident, they have found the remnants of an unholy text and have suffered ever since. Join them as Brother Jan, played by Chris, and Sir Reinhard, played by Craig, walk on the edge of damnation, with Slavik as the storyteller. If you'd like to follow us, you can find us on Twitter at twin_cities_VTM, or on Facebook at Twin Cities by Night, and on Discord at Twin Cities by Night. If you'd like to help support the podcast, you can find us on Patreon at Twin Cities by Night. We hope you enjoy.
Hello and welcome to our Inferno Temptation character creation session. This session will be creating the demons. I have this specific rule sheet for them that I created. Okay, it's not from like an official white wolf book, it's actually homebrew. So first off, I'll explain what the demons actually are and what they're going to be doing in this game. And next up, we're actually going to introduce and create the demons themselves. So, I didn't want to actually use the rules from Inferno, and the reason for that was they're not bad rules. They're great rules if you want to have like 4 player characters who are possessed, but then you have to have like 4 demons as the storyteller in your mind playing and how you're going to do this with them. So what I was thinking was take a page from Wraith's book and just, you have a shadow, you have a person. So why not create 2 different characters for 2 different players, and one player will be playing the demon, and one the mortal. So the character creation is really simple. The demons have 9 points to spend in their vices, classical vices: envy, gluttony, greed, lust, pride, sloth, and wrath. And 9 points in manifestations, which are sort of the effects they can create on the world, which are the elements, the mind, flesh, knowledge, spirits, and nature. So first, let's explain the manifestations. The elements are, the classic 4 elements, controlling them, corrupting them, from fire, water, air, doing anything with them. It's all possible with this manifestation. It's very useful, but it's usually not very subtle. Mind control, always the demon's favorite, turning someone against their will. Creating illusions. This is also, let's say, manifestation of mind. Flesh, sort of like the Zimisi, creating life, killing it, and sort of shifting, creating new appendages, anything that has to do with that. Knowledge, which is a bit different from the others in it can gain you some sort of primordial truth, which the mortal can't or won't know, whether it be something scientific or supernatural, or just historical, a historical fact. Anything that you could say is knowledge counts under this manifestation. And penultimate one is spirits, which is control of the spirit world, the one, from Werewolf the Apocalypse or stuff like that, where you sort of control the genius loci of the place, or influence it, or deal with it, or talk to it, something that no normal mortal can do. But demons, of course, as supernatural creatures, shouldn't have a problem with that. Of course, some spirits are evil, some are not. So the particularities may vary. And last but not least, nature. Control over animals, plants, and the natural world. Which, also corrupting nature is something that demons just love to do, whether it be just armies of buzzing flies or swarms of locusts, anything to do with that, that's nature. As for the system, basically, when demons don't actually have much agency, they possess the players, but they can't force them to do anything at first. They have to corrupt them first, really, prepare their souls and really get into that. And for that, they use those manifestations we talked about. Basically, whenever a mortal wants to accomplish something supernatural, he has to ask the demon for the power to do it. Okay, he doesn't have any innate powers. He can't just conjure up something. He has to make a bargain, however small. So basically, if this sort of action corresponds to a certain vice, then, as I told before, the demons have certain points and vices they specialize in. Then they add that to the manifestation points they have. So let's say a demon has 2 points in greed, 2 points in mind, and the character wants a shopkeeper to give him something for free. So he bargains with the demon. The demon spends the essence, which is outlined there, for how much it costs to do certain supernatural effects. And then basically the effect happens. The mortal probably gets a bit corrupted, it's an evil deed. And the demon loses a bit of essence, which he gains through several ways. They gain a couple each midnight. They gain whenever their host indulges his vice. They gain it all back when the mortal fails a degeneration roll, when they do something really bad. And that's basically how it works. Demons can, of course, get exorcised, but it's difficult, and it poses a certain danger to the exorcist himself. So, as I said, the more corrupted the mortals are, the more of a hold the demons have over them, and the bigger maximum essence pool of the demon actually is. And at certain points, the mortal might even black out for even a couple hours, being fully under the control of the demon. And the final rule is that corruption cannot be lowered at all, ever. If the human is freed from the demon and is subsequently possessed again, he starts at the corruption level he already was at before. So those are the rules. They're pretty simple. We might actually release the document somewhere underneath the video just for watching it so you guys can see it. And we'll start with our actual demons for this game. So, Tillman, if you would.
Right. I have decided that I want to play Bilvis the Envious. And basically, I have exactly one idea that I kind of stole. And that is, basically, I want to have the ability that Bilvis allows a mortal soul to travel from one body to another, thereby extending its lifetime in a way. But when that happens, the soul of the new host body, the original one, is destroyed and expelled.
Mm-hmm. Certainly, that's very possible under the rules. I'd probably rule it as either mind, maybe spirit.
Right, I thought the same.
In that, have it as a 5 manifestation. So, have you already decided on where you're probably going to put a lot of points in envy, as you are the envious?
Yes.
Have you decided how many?
No. In fact, I don't really know how to spend the points. I have 9 of them, right?
Yeah, you have 9 of them, and the actual abilities go up to 7, and the powers of the level scale of 6 and 7 are very, very powerful, as in they actually damage your permanent essence pool,
right.
Which means you'll permanently be crippled for the rest of the game. But they're powers that basically, for example, create a massive flood or an earthquake or something, something absolutely massive. But as a demon, you're very apprehensive of using it because your essence pool maximum can only be restored by spending centuries in hell. Which means if you ever decide to use these abilities, you're basically permanently crippling yourself or condemning yourself to exist in the realm of nightmares. So I assume you want to have this power available at any time, even if it's, for example, the character wants to use it for altruistic reasons or other reasons.
Yes, I think so.
In which case, I definitely put 5 points of your manifestations into mind.
Okay.
And as for the vices, the only limitation I would give you is just put 4 or 3 points in envy, and make sure envy is your biggest vice. But make sure to also spread around a little, just so in case human characters want to do something which corresponds to a different vice, just to make sure that you'd actually be able to do it. Although it'd be interesting to sort of twist their wants into a sort of different vice, which you're more proficient in, which also could work.
Yeah, I think I want to try that, but just to reiterate, the way that the vices work is the demon can only act if the mortal acts a certain vice or it helps him?
Well, the demon can only act when the mortal asks him.
Yes.
It can be for altruistic reasons, theoretically, but if it's for such reasons, you don't get to use any of your vice points, and you just have to use your straight manifestation points. Okay, you don't add these two together, which means that you'll not be as powerful. But the mortal still gets a bit corrupted from using his powers for virtuous purposes and for sort of relying on the infernal.
So just in game mechanics terms, it helps me as a demon player if the mortal acts in a vice that I have many dots in.
Mm-hmm. Basically, even if, for example, you don't have any dots in a manifestation, and let's say you have 3 or 4 dots in envy, then, for example, you could still try to mind control that shopkeeper.
Okay.
Just because it's in your purview, it's part of your existence. It's what you are. You are envy.
Okay, give me some time to think on the distribution.
Okay, yeah, we can go over to Quinn and then we'll go back. Okay?
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Yes, so for my demon, I decided to go with something with a different focus. My demon Hagalaz, his main focus is he's a demon of sloth. And I picked that because, well, most of the time when you think of your demons in games or media, sloth is usually not really one of them. I have seen like some examples, but they're rare. So my thinking is that as a sloth demon, his whole thing is that he would like want his host to sort of lean back and just let the events happen around him. Whether they be getting up out of bed in the morning or, stopping someone from burning down a house, whatever like that. Just so that he just feels that it's not worth the effort.
Yep, certainly. It's absolutely doable. I think just probably be proficient in sloth, but I think mind and flesh could also be.
Yeah, definitely. I was also at one point I was also thinking that since I know this is set in the Middle Ages,
mm-hmm.
One of my thoughts was that since he is a sloth demon, he would be able to sort of help the warriors in that they would because whenever they get hurt, he would be able to say oh yeah, you feel pain, but it's so far away in the distant corner of your mind, definitely. You don't even notice it.
I think also knowledge could be interesting for him, since it's just it's fine. Here, I'll tell you what's happening there. And you basically will, and it's just you don't have to go there. It's just.
I like that idea. Yeah, because he's you don't even need to get out of bed and go down to talk to people. I just tell you what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I like that idea. So yeah, I was thinking about maybe let's see. So I have 9 points to put in both vices and manifestations. So I guess start up with 4 in sloth, and I guess I'd say 2 in gluttony, just so he can sort of tie in feeling sleepy after having a big meal, that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Take it so that he won't. And I guess on the same note, you can go with sort of with envy in that, and just be oh, look at that, look at this nobleman over there. He's got such a nice place, soft, actual silk clothes and everything. Oh, it looks so comfortable. I want that. I just want to be able to just curl up in a bed and then at least with one more point around to go with. What do you think?
Well, I personally believe, lust could be interesting for that. It's just basically just lay around, you guys don't have to do anything. And just whenever the mortal wants something, just give it to them and then sort of exact another
basically so it'd fill all their base desires, and so that they don't even have to do get effort. I see. All right. I think I'll actually put 2 in lust to make the envy back down to 1. Mm-hmm. So I have 1 in envy, 2 in gluttony, 2 in lust, and 4 in sloth.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Nice. So, manifestations.
Yeah, so this is definitely going to be, I'd say, definitely some flesh. So how many would you say, for the pain thing, say if he gets hurt on the battlefield, it wouldn't affect him as much? Would that be a 3 at least?
I think it would probably be a 3. Yeah, definitely.
All right, yeah, so...
And, if you want to make them, his arms ripped off and he doesn't feel anything, I'd say that'd be a 4. But remember that if it corresponds to a certain vice, that you can sort of boost the power.
Yeah. I think I'll put a 3 in flesh. Yeah, just dull the senses if need be.
Mm-hmm.
Because that'll be definitely the appealing thing for a medieval warrior.
Exactly, and even for a simple peasant, especially
Not
during the
having like,
Hussite wars, there was food shortages and everything.
or like not having to feel that the ache in your back from the long day of doing work.
Exactly, not being hungry.
Exactly, yeah. Just just hide away the aches and pains of living. It's like that. Then I guess knowledge would be nice, yeah, because that would also fit into the whole sloth thing, and that just give him knowledge that he would otherwise have to work to get at. How hard would it be if I say wanted to sort of like peek into like another sleeping person's mind? Would that be like a knowledge thing, or?
I'd say that probably be mine.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
But if you want to influence the dream or something, but if you just want to know it, then I think knowledge would be fine too.
All right, yeah.
I made them very vague in that you can do. Think of them as mage spheres, right? You can do the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, just if you can argue for it, it's acceptable.
Exactly.
All right.
Which is basically sort of where I also got the inspiration. It's very broad, all-encompassing sort of thing. What actually is nature? What actually is the mind?
Yeah, I think. How about this? I think I'm putting 3 in flesh, 2 in mind, 2 in knowledge, and then 2 in nature.
Interesting. Okay.
So that because I'm thinking with the nature, or maybe I should put that in elements, just because I'm conflicted between nature and elements, because thinking is that doing if you're marching around in armor on a hot day, you might want to feel like a cool breeze or like chill the armor or something for the elements like that.
It's definitely both of these make sort of physical life easier in that elements, for example, help you create fire or lets you summon water so you can drink it, while nature can say grow food, berries, or anything, even, for example, in the dead of winter, which both of these are very useful abilities to have.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's too many good options.
Why didn't you give me more points? Why didn't you let me power game?
Yeah, at first I was like 7, but at 7 I was like, well, I mean, 9 is a suitably devilish number as well, so I really want to see those abilities in action afterwards.
Yeah. You're making me choose here.
If you want to, we can wait. We'll go to tome and then tell us your decision.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I have some points distributed.
Okay, so what have you come up with?
I leave out what I just didn't take. So in vices, I have 4 in envy. Greed, I have 2. Lust and wrath, I have 1.
Oh yeah, definitely. Wrath is also a really interesting one in that it will help all those violent manifestations just come out whenever the character just it's really into combat or something.
I'm hoping for a really, really messed up relationship kind of thing.
Well, of course. I mean, you're demons. There can be no other way.
Exactly.
Let's do this again. Okay, 4 in envy.
Yes.
1 in wrath. 1 in lust.
No, 2 in lust.
Oh, 2 in lust.
And 2 in greed.
Oh, 2 in greed. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And in manifestations, I have 4 in mind.
Mm-hmm. Definitely,
4 in spirits.
Oh, that's going to be very interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
And 1 in knowledge.
1 in knowledge. Okay. I really like that spread. The spirits thing. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to sort of setting up the spiritual realm of Tabor, which is sort of a bastion of fanatical or religious Hussites.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
It's definitely going to be something that interesting, especially for demons themselves. I think the demons might be more in peril there than the humans, honestly. So that's going to be nice. Okay, so, of course, as demons, you are creatures that were never born. You simply one day started existing. You don't know how, you don't know why. You only know to corrupt. You basically are corruption. It's your essence. That's what you use to fuel your powers. You basically use yourself to fuel those powers as well, which is why those high-level manifestations that take away your permanent essence pool are, let's say, so dangerous to you, because once that permanent essence, or if it reaches 0, that's it. You don't exist. No Bible talks about the afterlife of demons. No one does. No one does. No one cares. You're basically gone. That's it. So, bearing that, I'll say that you demons, hell is something that sort of wants to keep the things it sort of claimed, whether it be souls or demons. It all sort of pushes them like a sort of massive planet, as if it had a just massive gravity field, and basically getting out of it is something very hard. And thus, you really want to stay here on Earth, which is much more interesting than the bleak landscape of hell. And, of course, what I want to know is, how long have you been on Earth? Or if you've been on Earth before, rather, and what you have done. Okay, so let's see if any historical events or anything you've influenced or done, or anything interesting like that. Start with Quinn. Plus, we forgot about that last point, I think. Sorry.
Last couple of points. Yeah. I think I'm going to put the last 2 points for manifestations into nature. So that'll leave me with 2 points in mind, 3 points in flesh, 2 points in knowledge, and 2 points in nature.
Okay. Very interesting.
So, for historical events.
Doesn't have to be like concrete. It's like it can even be like thousands of years ago before recorded history.
All right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think for Hagalaz, I think definitely he wouldn't really keep track of time. That's not really something he's big into. It's just just sort of wander. He just appeared one day and there were these people walking around. It's like, okay, I can work with this. And so he just sort of when he wanders through their lives, trying to make sure to bring them there's so much activity and all that. Don't you know? It doesn't get you anywhere. You're gonna die eventually. So might as well just lie down and take a nice long nap. And so he never really pays too much attention to all the surroundings and going on in the people's lives. Like for him, history is just sort of like this thing that is like an ocean that's going on around him. He's just lying there in the waves, just I don't really care. I'm doing my own thing.
Interesting, yeah, definitely. I could definitely see him just doing that.
So even though he has he might have been for a few hundred years, 1,000 years, he doesn't even know. But he just knows that people ultimately they go around doing all their busy work, and he's just still there, just lying back, enjoying doing his thing.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. What about you, Tillman?
I think Bilvis was called into existence as he is the envious, possibly when humans gathered into larger groups, basically started to settle down and build civilization. And, basically when caste systems or slavery or maybe just the distinction between rulers and followers happened, that was the time when Bilvis came to Earth.
Okay. Yeah. And would you say that Bilvis, he sort of influenced the people to rise up against their masters? Or what did he do?
Well, I think the idea of rising up against an unjust master, that's a very human thing, but I think Bilvis sees potential for corruption in that idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, seizing the power, and then just basically being the same thing, just to a different set of people.
Yeah,
it's definitely something that a demon would love to do, It's definitely something that the Hussite political climate would sort of easily gravitate to if you wanted to. Basically trying to influence the outcome of the war and making sure that the Hussites win and start oppressing the Catholics, for example. So yeah, do you guys have any questions just to the game, the actual rules for demons or anything like that?
So we have an essence meter, and I think there was a fourth thing, but I forgot about Corruption, exactly. Okay,
so as I said before, corruption, it's something that you demons will try to figure out, or will record for the two human characters, each for your own. It's not something they'll actually know, so as they gain corruption, you'll get more influence over both their mind and their bodies, being able to create a witch mark or tiny horns, or once sufficient corruption is achieved, basically not make them look human at all. This will be another bargaining chip in your sort of inventory that you can use against them to threaten them. They still, if, of their own free will, if they won't say, I accept this bargain, they won't get corrupted or something like that. But they will have to bear the consequences of your displeasure at that point. What about you, Quinn? Understand everything? Any questions?
I do have to say, so when we start the game, are we and Tillman, we're going to be aware of each other's existence, or?
That's up to you, honestly, but I would say at the beginning, you two will be in a book, in the Codex Gigas, the Devil's Bible. You've probably been trapped there by an exorcist probably a century ago or so. And of course, you will want out. And the characters will, of course, eventually stumble upon the book and things will happen. And that's basically when you will sort of possess them.
I see.
That's how it will sort of begin.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering about that, but yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, so basically the caravan, starting scene will be that the caravan will be going through this destroyed village. And basically you will be in the book, in the Devil's Bible, inside a destroyed monastery.
I see. Thank you. That's all the questions I have for right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've gone through this, that, and I think that is everything for our two demons. So, we thank you for your attention, and hopefully you'll enjoy Inferno Temptation. Thank you.
Oh, hello again, folks. I'd like to tell you about the Facebook group we run, called White Wolf and Onyx Path RPGs, Gameplay and Media. Have you ever wished you could have an easy way to find gameplay videos and podcasts, or just media in general that deals with your favorite White Wolf role-playing games? Or have you ever wished you could find a forum to share gameplay that you have recorded? One that won't be drowned out by random posts and discussions, so that your media could get the attention you deserve. The group is specifically run with the sole intent of it being a one-stop shop for people to view or share media involving the games we all love. We take thorough steps to ensure the page does not become cluttered and is easy to traverse. The group is already immense and continuing to rapidly grow, with new media being shared every day. Stop on by. We hope to see you there.